The greatest tennis player who ever lived retired in 2022 and has since become richer than he ever was during his playing career. 20 Grand Slams, $131 million in prize money, 310 weeks as world number one. Roger Federer accomplished everything tennis had to offer. And then, he became a billionaire anyway. In 2026, Forbes estimated his net worth at $1.1 billion, making him the seventh athlete in history to cross that threshold and the first in tennis. His prize money represents barely 12% of that figure. The rest came from something considerably more interesting than hitting a tennis ball. Today, we are going inside exactly how the Swiss maestro spends it. The deal that made him a billionaire in 2019. Roger Federer's wife Mirka started wearing a pair of Swiss running shoes. She liked them. Federer tried them. He liked them too. He called the founders. The brand was On, a Swiss athletic footwear and apparel company founded in 2010 by three former athletes with a novel sole design that created a distinctive cushioned running sensation. At the time Federer called, On was a well-regarded niche brand with strong Swiss heritage but limited global recognition. Federer invested approximately $50 million for a stake of around 3%. 2 years later, On went public on the New York Stock Exchange at a valuation of $7 billion. Federer's $50 million investment was suddenly worth $300 million. By 2025, On's market capitalization had grown to approximately $15 to $17 billion. His 3% stake is now estimated to be worth between $375 million and $500 million depending on the market. To put that in perspective, Federer earned $131 million in prize money over 24 years of professional tennis. His single investment in On has generated returns that dwarf his entire on-court career earnings. He also serves as an investor and brand ambassador simultaneously, appearing in On's campaigns and helping develop products including a tennis shoe line bearing his name. The Roger Pro, designed specifically for him, became one of On's most recognized performance products. This is not a celebrity endorsement dressed up as an investment. Federer approached the founders, negotiated an equity stake, contributed to product development, and participated actively in the brand's growth. The investment has become the single most financially consequential decision of his post-retirement life. The endorsement empire, the On investment, is the centerpiece, but it sits within a broader commercial operation that has been generating extraordinary income for over 2 decades. Federer's relationship with Rolex began in 2006 when he ended an earlier deal with Maurice Lacroix after the Swiss watchmaker approached him. The initial 10-year contract was worth $15 million. When that deal expired in 2016, Rolex renewed it at a considerably higher rate of approximately $8 million annually. He has been Rolex's most prominent sporting face ever since. The image of Federer raising a trophy while wearing a Rolex becoming one of the most reproduced photographs in sports. The Uniqlo deal arrived in dramatic fashion at Wimbledon 2018, when Federer walked onto court wearing a white shirt with a small red Uniqlo logo, where his Nike swoosh had been for the previous 2 decades. The 10-year contract is worth $300 million in total, $30 million per year, making it one of the largest athlete endorsement deals in sports history. Critically, the contract has no retirement clause. Federer retired in September 2022 and continues to earn $30 million annually from Uniqlo for the remaining years of the agreement. He was paid for being Roger Federer rather than for playing tennis. Mercedes-Benz has been a partner since 2028, a relationship renewed in 2017 for a 10-year deal worth $5 million annually running through 2027. Wilson Sporting Goods has held a lifetime deal with Federer since 1998, paying approximately $3.5 million annually. NetJets, the fractional private jet ownership company, signed him as a brand ambassador and part owner in 2004 at $6 million per year. Lindt, the Swiss chocolate company, has been a long-term partner. Louis Vuitton, Barilla, Sunrise Communications, Switzerland Tourism, and Oliver Peoples complete a roster that represents some of the most prestigious brands in their respective categories. In 2024, Federer appeared alongside Rafael Nadal in a Louis Vuitton core values campaign photographed on a journey to the summit of the Dolomites, 2 of the greatest rivals in tennis history together on a mountain for a French fashion house. The photograph was one of the most shared images in luxury brand marketing that year. His total annual earnings from endorsements and the on investment currently sit at approximately $70 to $95 million per year, higher than his peak earnings during his active playing career. The Swiss property's Federer has never left Switzerland. Despite traveling constantly throughout a 24-year professional career and spending considerable time in Dubai, he has maintained Switzerland as his home base throughout his life and has assembled a Swiss property portfolio that reflects both his success and his deep attachment to the country. His primary residence is in Wollerau, a municipality on the southeast shore of Lake Zurich, in the canton of Schwyz. The location was chosen deliberately. Schwyz has one of the lowest effective tax rates in Europe, a fact that has attracted numerous high-net-worth individuals, including Formula One drivers Kimi Räikkönen and Felipe Massa, to the same area. Federer built the Wollerau property from scratch in 2014 at a cost of approximately 6.5 to 7.3 million Swiss francs. The three-story structure is composed largely of floor-to-ceiling windows, offering unobstructed views across Lake Zurich. Inside there is a massive stone fireplace that rises through all three floors, expansive wood plank terraces on each level, a swimming pool, a spa, a state-of-the-art gym, and an underground parking garage. His parents, Robert and Lynette, have an apartment within the same building. In the Swiss village of Valbella, within the Lenzerheide ski area in the canton of Graubünden, Federer purchased a Swiss-style chalet in 2008. The property includes surrounding land and a private tennis court with views of the Swiss Alps. This was his base before the Wollerau property was completed and has served as a holiday and ski retreat for the family since. In 2011, Federer purchased a 5,800 square meter plot of land in Herleberg, also above Lake Zurich, for approximately 29 to 30 million Swiss francs. The plot is in one of Switzerland's most expensive residential neighborhoods and has remained undeveloped under his ownership. The land holding value in a market where developable lakefront property is among the rarest real estate in Europe. His most ambitious Swiss property project is a planned estate in Rapperswil-Jona, near the eastern shore of Lake Zurich, reported to be worth up to 40 to 50 million Swiss francs. The plans include a tennis court, indoor sports facilities, and extensive grounds. The project has experienced delays related to pandemic restrictions and contaminated land assessments, but remains active. Dubai, Switzerland is home, but Dubai has been a second base for over 2 decades. Federer first acquired a luxury apartment in Dubai in 2006 specifically as a training base. The Dubai climate, with its heat and controlled indoor training conditions, offered a useful preparation environment for playing on surfaces and in conditions different from European clay and grass. He has described discovering Dubai almost accidentally, arriving to practice one summer and finding both the conditions and the lifestyle suited him. He told journalists at the time that he remembered it being brutally hot, around 39 degrees Celsius every day, but that he had a good time practicing. It was peaceful and quiet. The next thing he knew, he had an apartment. The Dubai property has remained part of his portfolio and serves as a family base for the winter months when European training conditions are less ideal. With 4 children, twins Mila and Charlene born in 2009 and twins Leo and Lenny born in 2014, Federer has maintained the Dubai base as a warm weather option that keeps the family connected to his training schedule without constant transatlantic travel. The car collection, Federer's car collection, reflects his primary commercial relationship rather than a personal obsession with automobiles. Mercedes-Benz has been his sponsor since 2028. And the terms of the partnership include receiving new vehicles from the brand, which means the garage accumulates Mercedes machinery as a natural consequence of the relationship. The most discussed vehicle in the collection is a one-of-a-kind creation. As part of a collaboration with Mercedes for the Neon Legacy project, Federer helped design a Mercedes-AMG GT63 SE Performance finished in neon green, the color chosen specifically to reference the color of a tennis ball. The car carries his RF initials and is not available through any standard Mercedes color program. It accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.9 seconds. The vehicle was subsequently auctioned by Sotheby's for £185,000, with proceeds going to renovate public tennis courts in London. His daily collection includes multiple Mercedes models accumulated through the partnership, a Range Rover, and various other vehicles suited to family life in Switzerland. Unlike Messi's Pagani Zonda sitting as an untouchable sculpture in a garage, Federer's collection is functional rather than theatrical. A billionaire who drives to training and school drop-offs in the same cars his sponsors give him. The private aviation arrangement tells a slightly different story about how seriously he treats travel. As a NetJets brand ambassador and part owner since 2028, Federer has access to fractional private jet ownership rather than a single dedicated aircraft. He has spoken about the arrangement in interviews, saying he believed in having the right team around himself and that NetJets had made his life on tour considerably easier. As a part owner of the company that provides the service, the commercial logic works in multiple directions simultaneously. The watch collection Federer's relationship with Rolex is both commercial and personal, and the watch collection that has accumulated over 2 decades of partnership reflects that dual nature. The publicly documented pieces include multiple Rolex references across the Daytona, Datejust, GMT Master, Oyster Perpetual, Day Date, Yacht Master, and Air King families. Entry-level pieces in the collection sit between $15,000 and $25,000. The Daytona references range from approximately $50,000 for standard models to considerably higher for gemset and precious metal variants. A rose gold Rolex Day Date sits at the top of the confirmed Rolex holdings with values in the $50,000 to $60,000 range. Beyond Rolex, Federer has been seen wearing pieces from Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet, brands that occupy the tier above Rolex in Swiss watchmaking hierarchy. A Patek Philippe Nautilus, the most coveted complication watch in modern collecting, and an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak are among the pieces associated with his collection. Both brands have retail prices beginning above $20,000 for entry models and extending to several $100,000 for complicated pieces in precious metals. The watch collection is not cataloged publicly in the way Messi's has been broken down piece by piece. What is visible is consistent with a man who has worn Rolex publicly for 20 years, served as the brand's most prominent sporting ambassador, and accumulated both commercial pieces from the partnership and personal acquisitions from the broader Swiss watchmaking tradition he grew up surrounded by in Basel. Teammate and the Laver Cup Federer did not wait until retirement to build business infrastructure around his career. In 2013, while still an active player, he co-founded Teammate Sports and Entertainment with his longtime agent Tony Godsick. Teammate is a sports management and entertainment agency based in the United States that represents tennis players and advises on commercial opportunities across the sport. Beyond Federer himself, the agency has represented players including Juan Martín del Potro, Alexander Zverev, and Coco Gauff at various points. In 2018, Teammate generated an estimated $13.7 million in commission income from its represented athletes. But the more significant Teammate creation is the Laver Cup, an international team tennis competition between Team Europe and Team World that Federer and Godsick conceived and brought to life beginning in 2017. Named after Australian legend Rod Laver, the event has been held annually across European and North American cities and has grown into one of the most watched live tennis events outside the Grand Slams. Federer used his personal relationships with Djokovic, Nadal, and other top players to secure participation commitments that gave the event immediate credibility. The September 2022 Laver Cup in London was the occasion he chose for his retirement match, playing alongside Nadal in doubles in what became one of the most emotional final matches in the sport's history. The Laver Cup represents something more than a commercial asset. It is the event Federer created to outlast his playing career. A contribution to the structure of the sport rather than simply a trophy in it. The Federer Foundation. Not all of Federer's post-career activity is financially motivated. The Roger Federer Foundation was established in 2023 and has since invested over $60 million in early childhood education and primary school access programs across 6 African countries. The foundation operates in Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa, the last being a connection to his mother Lynette's South African heritage. The foundation's stated mission is to provide access to quality education for children in underserved communities, with a specific focus on the early childhood years that research consistently identifies as the most critical developmental period. By the foundation's own reporting, its programs have reached over 1.6 million children. Federer has spoken about the foundation's work consistently throughout his career, describing the commitment as personal rather than strategic. His mother's connection to Southern Africa gave the geographic focus a biographical logic rather than a purely philanthropic calculation. In a career built on precision, consistency, and the long-term compounding of small advantages, the foundation represents the same philosophy applied to human development rather than financial returns. $1.1 billion. A $50 million investment that returned $375 million. $300 million from Uniqlo for wearing clothes. $60 million given to educate children in Africa. Roger Federer did not just become the greatest tennis player who ever lived. He built a billionaire's empire from the same qualities that made him great on court. Subscribe for more.